Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Oteka, for joining us. We're delighted when our nurse educator colleagues come back and share a little bit about their journey. We know that you have been a part of our boot camp, but do you mind just telling us a little bit more about your journey and what were some of the contributing factors that you felt like led to your success?
I think my journey was longer, first of all, than what I thought it was. Remember, I was following a 7-week plan, but I talked to you a couple times on the 15-minute meetings that we had, and I realized I'm like, okay, my plan is 7 weeks, but I may need more time because I kept saying that, okay, I don't have the theories yet, or I don't have something yet, and I feel like I need to study more. But what I end up doing, I think I did everything. I read through the entire Billings and Halstead. I did my workbook. I looked at every single boot camp that related to CNE. I attended so many different sessions with you. I did the live review. I even looked through my Caputi's book because I had that book before, and
Mhm.
I wanted to compare Billings and Halstead to that book. I just made sure I did all that. I had the Shellenbarger's competency book. I
Mhm.
had the review book with all the questions. So I went over all those like 2 or 3 times. And then I also did the same thing with Caputi. I went through all of those questions too. I did the NLN, the SAE.
Mhm.
I went through that 2 or 3 times. So I think in a way, I feel like I was going to say I overdid it, but I don't think you could overdo anything because if I felt like I wasn't getting it, I had to keep on until I got it. And I even tried to teach it to my kids, like my children, my real children, but my real children, and it that helped me too. So I did a lot of studying and preparing, and I realized that it took me a little bit more than 7 weeks. And you kind of encouraged me that if it takes longer than that, then that's fine. And it did
Right.
a little bit longer, and I was successful. I was so happy. I couldn't wait. I was sitting in my car after I found out my results and sent you my review.
Yes, and we were so excited that you told us right away about your success. And I think you've said a couple of great pointers that I want everyone here today on this boot camp to hear about, or if you're watching this as a replay. Oteka and I did have a couple of calls, like she said, 15-minute sessions, where we talked about what her journey looked like at that moment. Because again, we know everybody is at a different point on their journey. We simply want you to slow down a little bit to reflect on where you are today, where you want to be, which is achieving success. For Oteka, it was on the CNECL exam. And how do you close that gap, whether it's from a competency standpoint, you taking more time to review your content, or a confidence standpoint. And the other point I want to make before I ask Oteka one more question is that what we find is true for our students that we tell them all the time is true for our nurse educator colleagues on this journey. The best way to increase your confidence, as we talk more about mindset and making sure you remove any of those barriers that we really impose on ourselves, the best strategy to use to decrease any anxiety you may have associated with taking the exam, or I would say at least a large percentage of that anxiety, is to ensure that you are well prepared. So Oteka, can you tell us a little bit about what your initial test date and timeline looked like, and how, as you and I kind of talked through that process, what changes you made to that date?
Well, my initial date was literally 7 weeks after because I thought I would be where I should be.
Right.
But I end up changing it. Well, I didn't. What I didn't do is, and I don't advise people to do. I didn't like what you advised me to do at first. You said to go ahead and schedule it right then and there, and so I didn't do that right then and there because my schedule too, like you said, everybody's schedule is different. So my work schedule, because I work 2 jobs, I'm full time teaching, but I also work in the hospital too. So my schedule is always so itchy, and I just couldn't figure. I'm like, oh my god, what date am I going to do? So I end up taking it exactly at the 3 month. Like the day I took it was exactly at the 3 months that you have to schedule it within 90 days. It was exactly to the date. But I originally wanted to do it the 7 weeks, but after the 7 weeks of me doing everything, I kept going back and like, I can't remember this stuff. I can't remember this. I can't remember this. And so I end up having to change what I had in my mind is the date that I want to do it, like 2 or 3 times. Because
Mhm.
what I wanted was to take it in February, but then all of a sudden I noticed that you had posted that on February 18th was the review, and I was like, I need that before I take this test. I need that live review because I know what type of learner I am. I just knew I needed something else, and I really think that's what I don't know, it just made me have more of a guarantee. I was scared still because I think
Mhm.
you had emailed me the day before, and I was like, I'm still scared. You have to kind of talk me out the ledge the day before too. But like I said, originally my plan was to take it within 7 weeks, and I ended up changing the date in my mind a couple of times until I finally just said, you know what, I'm taking it March the 4th, and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna pass it, and that's it. Because I couldn't go March the 5th because that's the last day anyway.
Exactly. Yes. And I think that that's a great point, Oteka, that even though we have the 7-week study plan, everybody's journey looks a little different. Life happens. A key step in the process, though, that we do talk about consistently is scheduling that exam right away. Okay. As soon as you're able to commit that CNE, CNECL, or CNE novice is going to be part of your success as you move forward on the 7-week study plan. Now, the benefit with NOLN of scheduling your exam is exactly what Oteka said. You have 90 days right now. That's their policy. And so as long as you meet, when you look at our success framework, specifically week 1, once you have purchased your resources, we're going to be able to help you close your knowledge gaps. Okay. We have helped thousands of nurse educators move forward on their journey. We have helped now hundreds be successful on the CNE exams. So we know that if you have that foundational level of nurse educator experience, if you meet the eligibility criteria, and if you are committed to the number of hours you need to close your knowledge gaps, you can absolutely be successful in that within that 90 days. What we find is if you do not schedule your exam, you are less likely to or apply or register for the exam. You are less likely to take the exam. So that 90-day window is there for a purpose, is to really push you a little bit. Again, knows adult learning theory. Sometimes we need to be pushed in a direction towards success. Okay, so Oteka, thank you so much for sharing a little bit with us about your journey. And we are glad to hear that we were able to help you be successful. Any other parting words, Oteka?
I don't think I could have done it without you. That's my only parting word. I've actually told a lot of my colleagues about you too, because I was like, it's no way I could have done it without Dr. Sellers. No way in the world. I just could not have. I don't think I could have.
Yes, yes. Well, we appreciate that feedback. And we know you did the hard work. We just coached you and supported you along the way. So you did the hard work, just like other nurse educator colleagues are going to do out there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then I'm happy to open it up for everyone to kind of ask questions. All right. So I'm going to stop.